Hello, everybody. This is Emad Aysha again, back from the dead, so to speak, Cairo, Egypt, and doing some teeny tiny extra comments on Dune, particularly Dune Part 1. I just realized after downloading a version of Dune and watching it, and the sound was actually quite good this time, that the movie is a jumbled mess. Literally. The scene where Paul is having his hand fried in the box, or he's being tested, the music in the background is the music that you hear on Arrakis when Liat Kynes is killed by the Sardaukar, with this sort of Middle Eastern chanting in the background. And this is ridiculous because music scenes are supposed to, there's themes for a particular individual, for a particular thing happening, and that music is supposed to be for the bleak, hostile, endless terrain of Arrakis, and that kind of Middle Eastern chanting, singing, which I actually don't like. It's that you find it always in Syrian period drama. You have a whole chorus of people yelling in the background as if somebody's stepping on their toes. I've actually used that expression before with my students. And it fits that bleak terrain of emptiness. You want to fill that silence with noise. So why the hell is it being used on Caladan when he's being tested by the Reverend Mother? Doesn't make any sense. And wouldn't you know, that same kind of muddling, music muddling, happened in Rise of Skywalker. I watched a YouTube video and they'd have commenting on this, and I'd felt that there was something wrong with Rise of Skywalker when I'd watched it. You'd have music, theme music for one particular character popping up in a different scene where that character isn't there. So it shows you the monumental blundering that was going on in the making of Dune Part 1. And for some reason people are praising it even today, even after Dune Part 2, which is so much better. Just let me reduce the noise level here. I have fans on for my sake and for the computer's sake. Second thing, to show you again that the director and the movie makers didn't understand Dune. Dune is one of those species of science fiction novels where you have an all-human universe. And that's deliberate. It's like a giant thought experiment to explore social science and human history and human nature. So you create an entire universe that's just human beings, so you can see history playing out in real time, so to speak. The classic example, of course, is Isaac Asimov with the Foundation theory, Foundation novels. And apparently Frank Herbert was influenced by the Foundation novels. That's why you have Irulan talking about the past. But Frank Herbert did a sneaky trick, being a brilliant genius writer that he was. He has an all-human universe, but he avoided the problem that comes with that, which is it's very boring. It's all human beings. The whole point of going to outer space is to meet aliens and see new civilizations and weird places. What he did is he created an all-human universe where the humans are almost aliens, where you have extremes, weather extremes, an entire desert planet that molds people in a certain way. In the case of the Fremen, and their water is the top priority for everything, more important than money, more important. Man's flesh belongs to himself, but his water belongs to the tribe, and water is almost worshipped in this tribe, and everything is collecting water. You have the mentats, the human computers. They're the replacement for artificial intelligence, and it's almost as if they're aliens. They have their own weird hairstyles or eyebrows, and the stains on their lips, or whatever it is. I'm confusing the David Lynch movie with them all. You have the Spacing Guild have been mutated over 4,000 years of the orange spice gas, and they have the power to fold space with the power of their minds, and these kind of things. They're practically aliens. They're no longer human. They look like fish things with webbed hands. And like, you have the Bene Gesserit, who use spice and incredible mental powers to control their metabolism and their enzymes, and they can drink poison and turn it into wine, so to speak, and they can kill somebody with a single blow. So again, he replaced the need for alien worlds and alien civilizations through very different kinds of human beings whose circumstances have changed them, warped them almost to the point that they're unrecognizable by us regular human beings. But of course you don't see any of that in Dune Part 1. The Spacing Guild are wearing masks, wearing motorcycle helmets, in effect, and there's no indication that they're different or weird compared to the regular human beings, and they have no role to play. They're just bus conductors, glorified railway men or something like that, and that's it. They're not a power to be reckoned with in the galaxy and control all trade, and they don't. And spice is only mentioned once in relation to them later in the movie, halfway through a boring exposition scene with a tablet with a projector. Like, that's a really cool, weird invention. You have to wait 10,000 years in the future for it to happen. It's lame. It's lame. This guy does not understand science fiction. Another indicator that he doesn't understand science fiction is the scene with the Guild liner and the going to Arrakis. There's no sense of wonder, no sense of incredible technology, no sense of a different way of transporting things. There's no sense of awe in it. And also no proper planetary shots. Everything is slow. The Guild liner looks like a metallic slug slithering its way across space. External shots, space shots, have to have contrast. You have to have things in the distance or things close by so you can tell motion and speed and size. Look at Star Wars, look 2001: A Space Odyssey, look at Alien, look at Enemy Mine. They all utilize a sun and a star in the background with the ship coming towards you, or planets in alignment, or a sense of falling towards something, and dust clouds coming towards you, or dust clouds in the distance in outer space to give you a sense of perspective. Beautifully done, every one of those movies. Wolfgang Petersen, it's a tragedy that he didn't go into science fiction, because Enemy Mine failed, sadly, at the box office. It's an anti-war movie set in outer space, and it's a proper science fiction movie. He understands alien worlds, and he understands interstellar travel, and creating a sense of familiarity and freakishness for the audience. And of course, the same is true of David Lynch. The scene with the Guild liner is one of the best scenes in the movie, which I liked even when I was a kid, when I didn't like the movie and didn't understand it and hadn't read Dune. It's a tragedy that David Lynch didn't go into science fiction. Again, his movie bombed at the box office. He's a natural for science fiction. He understands the worlds of SF. He understands the need to create a sense of wonder, the sense of alienness and familiarity through steampunking. You have the Hunter-Seeker, which has a clock-like device inside a tick-tock. It's so familiar, it's so retro, and yet it's still thoroughly ultra-modern. Does that pop up in the new movies? Everything looks like it's high-tech and run by computers in a world where there's no computers are banned. That's the whole point of having the mentats. It's just a mess. So anyway, but that's enough. I'm going to shut off before some noise comes out from out in the street from the construction work, or from the mosque next door. Emad, over and out.